Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a free way to support the channel is by leaving a thumbs up, by leaving a comment, by leaving 2 comments, by leaving 17 comments, as many comments as your heart tells you to leave, or by subscribing if you have not already done so, as it does indeed help with the algorithm. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Over the last 22 and a half hours, it's not accurate, but it sounds correct. The cryptocurrency market has had a very weird dip and kind of a nice little movement back upwards. It says Bitcoin dropped to a 7-week low beneath $40,000 before recovering. I think it hit 38,500 on certain websites and then popped right back up. We are currently around $42,000 per Bitcoin, which was the number I believe that we had a day or two before as the market was initially falling, that we were told would kind of be the resistance point, if you will. It says Bitcoin holds above $40,000. Ethereum and altcoins slide against Bitcoin. Everything is falling. It's not just Bitcoin. It's the entirety of the world at this point. Everyone is still completely terrified, annoyedified at the Evergrande or Evergrande or Evergrande, however, 9 different ways to say it, thing that's happening in China right now. It says Bitcoin sets new monthly low, what could trigger a comeback. A lot of websites right now have seemingly overnight become hyper optimistic. Wait, I think I'm screaming in my ear. I always do this. I have no idea. There we go. A lot better. Hyper optimistic as to the future of Bitcoin's price. This is also another really weird pattern that we keep seeing. I haven't mapped it out in my head as well as I have other things. But if you've been here for a while before, you know the pattern of markets doing well, markets doing extremely well. Market for some reason falls down, everyone kind of panics, and like a day or two later we start getting news like, well, everything is just fine and dandy, let's go back to new all-time highs. And this is kind of where we are segueing ourselves into, at least at the current moment. I assume by Friday, we will probably get a lot more like, hey, Bitcoin's getting ready to hit the all-time high news kind of again, because that seems to be the actual flow of things going on. This was also quite popular as well. There were a lot more websites than I were expecting to have news like this, had news like this. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Cardano price on the brink of an explosion, exclamation point. Is ADA price due for a big upside? A lot of websites for some reason, and not for some reason, because Cardano has had their actual update that we've been talking about since like 1922. They finally have it. There are now thousands of smart contracts deployed on top of Cardano. There's a lot of discussion about the new something, I don't even know what it is, NFT platform for Cardano, and everyone's talking about the low fees and the low so-and-so, and other investors are talking about Cardano could make it really big. They're talking about Cardano hitting $15, $12, yada, yada, yada over the course of a year as the network continues to expand. We get other upgrades that are also being planned as well. And you kind of get the point. So there was a lot of Cardano looks like it's going to be going a lot higher news as well. It says Cardano price could hit fresh highs, exclamation point. ADA price to hit $4, says DeVere Group CEO Nigel Green. I think we're going to get a lot more news like this. I think that this is one of the very few coins that a lot of institutions actually got into. One of the original things was a lot of institutions, if you got into Bitcoin early, cool, you're amazing. A lot of institutions got into Bitcoin around the time that Ethereum was first introduced, and because they did not get as much Bitcoin as they wanted, Ethereum then became their kind of champion. And it kind of continued on for a lot of people who couldn't get Ethereum. They started talking about Tron and other networks and stuff like that. So I feel like Cardano is one of the very few coins that people knew was going to rise in price, and institutions were also able to get a huge amount of before prices actually hit $10, $15, $20. So yeah, optimistic Cardano news, wonderful, fantastic. We all know the prices are going to go higher. It's just a matter of when at this point, because Bitcoin and I guess the stock market as well seem to be tripping over stones. On top of that, The Fear and Greed Index suggests Bitcoin's price is undervalued. What? That's crazy. Who thought of that? There are a lot of fear and greed indexes in the cryptocurrency space. Some are more popular than others. Sure, why not? The entire idea is when people get too greedy, this is normally when you should be afraid because, prices are moving up way too high, so they say. Then they normally should be, and therefore we could be in the range for another price drop. Cool, amazing. However, when the market is too afraid, it means that people aren't investing, so they say, as much as they should, and therefore the market's going to go back up before we get to that greed point once again. We are now in extreme fear, if I am not mistaken, within the cryptocurrency market, based off of the last 3 months of prices really not moving a lot higher. People not really sure where to put their money in general when it comes to investments, and also the recent dip that we've had because of the stock market thing, because of the China thing, and also within the cryptocurrency market. So we've slightly gone over this, not so much the fear and greed index every single day, but it's more of a, we know that as prices are dropping, the only people who are really holding on are the long-term holders or buyers and institutions who continue to buy. But a lot of people who are brand new to the market and brand new, let's say 6 months to even a year, if you kind of want to stretch it out that far, tend to be panicking quite often because they simply don't know how the market works, and they're really into the market just for very quick bucks so they can brag to other people, not realizing once again that Bitcoin is literally trying to overtake the US dollar. So this is going to be a long game for all of us. And what is this one? I think this also ties into it as well. Is anyone surprised? No, you shouldn't be. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says bought the dip. Third largest Bitcoin whale purchased $13 million worth of Bitcoin at $40,000 a coin. And the third largest whale wallet now holds 111,000 Bitcoin. Not really much to say here. This happens all the time. It happens even when we're not paying attention. It happens even when we're not getting news articles about it. Whales are consistently buying up coins. We had news yesterday that the people who are mining Bitcoin are also holding onto their coins, and they're buying more coins, and they're not selling off any coins. Why? This is normally an indication that people expect Bitcoin's price to go a lot higher. And the idea is you would want to have more before the price actually ends up going up, as opposed to buying it as prices are actually going up. But that's what all the what do you call it? I almost said late bloomer. What's the word? Late buyers? I don't know what you would call them. The people who FOMO into the market, we need them to be able to actually get to the 100,000 and the 150, because as price moves up logically by itself because of supply and demand, these are the people who jump into the market when they show, you understand. Anyway, so I believe that's all the price news. It was looking bad. It's looking okay. We are 7,500 and something or other dollars from where we were just about a good 4 or 5 days ago. Not really. It wouldn't take us a lot to re-hit those numbers. It's just a matter of when we're going to get to that number. And yeah, let's move on, because though this is not price news, the next thing, it ties into why there may be some optimism in the market. All right. Let's move on. Next up, asset managers Galaxy Digital and Invesco have teamed up to submit a joint application for a Bitcoin ETF, backed by the actual underlying asset. A Bitcoin ETF is a publicly traded investment vehicle designed to track the value of Bitcoin with shares in the fund, if one is ever approved, trading on a national stock exchange. In essence, Bitcoin ETFs would give investors exposure to Bitcoin without the hassle of purchasing and storing the actual asset. Sure. The entire idea of the hassle of it, for some reason, there are allegedly millions, hundreds of millions of people on the planet who just don't want to click the buy button for Bitcoin. So they feel better going through a company who has gotten another piece of paper from the SEC that says that they can issue other people pieces of paper that say Bitcoin on top, as opposed to buying the actual asset. The idea being that the fund itself, the ETF, buys up actual physical Bitcoin, in response to other people's demand for the actual product. So this is now what is it, 15, 16 of the proposals for a Bitcoin ETF. We went over this often The idea, at least for me, is you would not put forth a proposal if you did not believe that there was some chance that this was actually going to make it through, if you will. We also had news 3 or 4 days ago that the people from Fidelity had allegedly a little sit down and chat with the SEC to kind of, let them know that it's time that they allowed a Bitcoin ETF to go through. While this particular thing is nothing incredibly exciting, as we hear about people proposing to have Bitcoin ETFs all the time, this, however, was incredibly popular news. Bloomberg intelligence commodity strategist Mike McGlone believes it is only a matter of time before the U.S. SEC approves the country's first Bitcoin ETF. In an interview with Stansberry investor host Daniela Cambone on the 21st of September, McGlone asserted that Canada, is extending a competitive lead over the U.S. after approving Bitcoin ETFs from Q13 and CoinShares in April. He emphasized that capital is flowing from the U.S. to Canada logic. Institutional crypto products, including the Cathie Woods ARK Invest, who we had news about a week ago. Cathie Woods, I believe, being from the States, announced she couldn't wait anymore, so they're going to be buying the Bitcoin ETF in Canada. However, he believes that lawmakers in the U.S. will not want to miss out for much longer. That's where we kind of differ, because they've waited 6 years. Imagine if in 2015, the U.S. had approved 7 Bitcoin ETFs. Any other ETF that had launched anywhere in the world, we would have never had news about them. Ever. It would just be the U.S.'s ball game, court, basketball league. I have no idea what I'm saying. When asked about the time frame on potential U.S. Bitcoin ETF approval, McGlone said it could happen potentially by the end of October, and that, boys and girls, is the thing that set everyone ablaze. It's the time frame. We've had news at the beginning of this year. It was not from Mr. McGlone. It was from several other people who said that they believed by the end of this year we would have some type of a Bitcoin ETF that would have gained regulatory approval within the United States. The entire idea is, if anyone is allowed, any company, any institution is allowed to have a Bitcoin ETF go through, and they are buying up all the Bitcoins because it's part of the funds thing, and they get approved, what basically happens is a copy and paste kind of situation where someone goes, okay, copy the exact thing that they did. We will mimic that. We will also have our own Bitcoin ETF. And then before you know it, there are 25 of them flowing around the United States. Everyone's buying up tons of Bitcoin. And then before you know it, the supply goes lower. Institutions are definitely into it because it's regulated by the SEC and all that other stuff. And then prices end up going up and yada, yada, yada. So this is why it's been a major news story for the last 1,000 years. So I guess it's just the time frame. This person believes, Bloomberg intelligence commodity strategist, that sounds like a very nice title to have, believes that by the end of October, that is 5.5 weeks away, there could be an approval by the SEC for a Bitcoin ETF. I mean, it would make sense if they just approved one. Who knows how long it's going to take? But yeah, this was very popular news. A lot of people are discussing it. I have, what's a number lower than 0? That, whatever the number is, that's the level of hope that I have for the U.S. to actually push through any ETF anytime soon. I would assume by the end of 2022, maybe like October 2023, it just seems kind of like the right time at this point for the U.S. to actually get to it. But if we get one this year, that will basically, in more ways than one, solidify a above $100,000 Bitcoin price, which we've all been waiting for, and we don't need a Bitcoin ETF for. However, it would, of course, help to accelerate the process. Anyway, yeah, very popular news. Let's see if it actually ends up happening. I mean, it'll happen eventually, hopefully within our lifetimes, but, you know, the SEC and all. Anyway, that's the Bitcoin ETF news. And let's move on. Probably one of my favorite news stories, and I know I maybe say it around once a week. It's because we're getting really ridiculous news stories, and I kind of like this one. 3 months 3 months after global banking regulators proposed strict new rules for traditional financial institutions seeking Bitcoin exposure, JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, and other banking giants have opposed what would require them to set aside $1 in capital for each dollar of Bitcoin that they own. The idea is this should negatively affect everyone else except for us. So months ago, we had tons of people talking about regulations. We need regulations in the space. I don't understand why we do not have regulations. And as we're getting regulations, the people who propose these regulations are saying, no, regulations, but not for us. We don't want them. The strict rules were proposed in June by the Basel Committee for Banking Supervision, a group of regulators from the world's most prominent financial centers. However, the Global Financial Markets Association, a forum for banks that includes JP Morgan and Deutsche Bank, published together with 5 other industry associates a letter on Tuesday that pushed against the new regulation. They said, "We find the proposals in the consultation to be so overly conservative and simplistic that they, in effect, would preclude bank involvement in crypto asset markets," the association wrote in the letter to the Basel Committee, according to the report. How funny time is. So many people constantly keep screaming for regulations within the cryptocurrency market as long as it does not affect them. Banks are desperately trying to figure out how to get into Bitcoin as easily and as much as they possibly can. They know that they fall under many different rules that says that they have to announce when they have Bitcoin, how much they have, how much they plan on offering, what products they plan on having, yada, 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 SEC, ABC, CDFTC, 1, 2, 3, all those kind of things. So the fact that, and this tells me exactly what's going on. The proposed rule would be if a bank is offering you Bitcoin in some sort of way through a fund or whatever, and that fund goes kaput, disappears, I hit my light, goes away in some sort of way, the bank would then be required, usually by the FDIC, whatever the letters are in America and many other places, to pay you back the money that you lost from said investment. However, if a bank is looking to buy around, let's say a random number, around like $30 billion worth of Bitcoin, they would also have to have $30 billion set aside as well. This becomes a bit tricky, especially if at some point Bitcoin does a 10x. Well, the bank then has to have $300 billion, and they don't really want that to happen because they don't want to actually probably even hold the US dollar anymore, and this is why they're desperately trying to get into crypto. I found this news very exciting. I know it might not be the coolest thing out there, but I love whenever we get into a situation where someone is vehemently trying to regulate our market, and then they get regulated and they go, no, we didn't want that. And it continues happening over and over. It's also very nice to know, I guess explicitly, that banks are trying to hold Bitcoin, and probably already do. But the new rules would say that they also have, $1 per Bitcoin. So that'll be fun. Anyway, not the craziest, most fantabulous news. However, assumption, with all the money being thrown around, that rule will probably be struck down quite quickly so that banks can easily enter the cryptocurrency space without actually having to, worry about any of the rules because they don't care about the rules. And to finish things off, also in quite popular news, the Twitter community, there we go, is buzzing once again. This time the story revolves around Tesla possibly accepting Dogecoin as payment in the future. To specify, Matt Wallace, a crypto YouTuber and huge Doge fan, tweeted a very bold post. He said, Tesla will announce Dogecoin acceptance after Robinhood wallets are released. In detail, the tweet says that Tesla will soon announce accepting Dogecoin as payment. In fact, he says that Tesla will do so once Robinhood wallet has come out. Robinhood is trying to release a new cryptocurrency wallet where they're basically allowing people to take money off their platform and do all these other cool, new, amazing automatic payment, blah, 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 blah things, whatever they're trying to do. A lot of people are quite excited about this. I am not explicitly sure where this human being got their information from. I don't think this person works for Tesla. I don't know this person and do not follow their channel. But you'd better hope you're right, because you can't release information like that and then Dogecoin's price goes up and then there is no actual acceptance of Dogecoin and then Dogecoin's price goes down. Well, who do you think is going to get the anger from other people? So anyway, I mean, it seems slightly believable. We've had news before from Elon Musk that he is in love with Shiba Inus and all the other stuff and yada yada, and he keeps posting about all the other coins like Baby Doge and Doge Baby and Baby Got Back and all the other stuff like that. But sure, this was very popular news. Somebody said it, so it has to be true, right? That's how it works. I believe at some point Tesla is going to do it because Elon Musk, I assume, has hundreds of millions, if not billions, of Dogecoin. But that's another conversation in and of itself. So cool. Yeah, let's go Tesla Doge. Woo. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Chris, Hakeem Williams, Empire Queen, Stake It With Valor, Fudd, Wiser, Mortified, Roman, Geba, Bitcoin, Ben Arachno, Dave, Tony Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Red Plum Tomato, Umnu, Wish Nikki, The Letter M, Stephen Dirks, Not Brain, Captain Something in the Z-Way, Lay Crypto, Black Sheep, AJ Cut 5, Speedy 655, and Carlos Was Like, Mo Barazi, Jojo Shaw Show, Jojo Shaw Show, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grolay, Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Bare Bones Mining, Troy All Good, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Pat Turnoster, Conan Noskip, Black Day, Snacky Chan, Tolik, Banana, Auspicious Agile, and Blockchain Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Steuer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, Ebibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohammed Maruni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cold E3D, Damien, Setsuna, Richie Richard III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangiela Vodi, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller, Hitch Test, Every Day, and Cowskips, Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bonnie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Mouse Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger and Macho, Nisa, All Crypto with Lana, Crayla, Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Did it. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who has left a like, a comment, a subscribe, is still here listening to me talking about the cryptocurrency market. At the momento, Bitcoin is currently at 42,250 US dollars. It is red by 2.66%. There's the drop that we had right there, and there's the movement back up. Most of the coins are in red. Avalanche is up by 1%. Iran L Gold E is up by 2.7%. IOTA is up by 0.88. Okay. Axie Infinity is up by 9. Isn't Axie Infinity that video game? Axie Infinity. I think that's the video game, no? I don't know. Yeah. Alrighty. We'll see where the rest of the week takes us. Hopefully to new and amazing things and prices and all that other stuff. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do sincerely hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.